Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Alexander Armstrong's Big Ask. This is the show where guests will be asking difficult questions to which they already know the answers, you know, like your wife does. It's kind of an intellectual version of I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Now, my dad always used to say there's no such thing as a stupid question. Obviously, that was before he saw an episode of Take Me Out. Every year, dogs kill more people than great white sharks do, although, to be fair, great white sharks do make a very poor job of guiding the blind. Now, tonight's guests are not just the pick of the crop, they are the finest organic produce of the comedy world. Top quality, expensive and slightly misshapen. Please welcome Tim Vine, Joe Brand and Stephen Mangan. So welcome to my penthouse apartment. Sorry the lift wasn't working.
It's a long way up.
Great, it sure is. Tim.
Yes.
You're looking very tanned and
I've just been to the sun tanning Olympics. I got bronze. No, I've just been on a cruise actually with my dad. That's not as funny, that is it?
No. It might have been. Yeah, go on.
Well, we were on a ship called the Quest for Adventure, and it was full of old people. And at one point there was someone on the deck, and she sneezed, and her false teeth went into the water, and we had to turn the ship round and go back. So it was renamed the Quest for Adventure.
Joe, what do you like to go on holiday with?
I'm quite sedate these days. When I was a student, you could, like, fly to Greece for £1 and then just go mad on Retsina for 2 weeks. I have very happy memories. I remember our friend Betty ended up halfway up a mountain one night with her face in a cactus being taken from behind by a Greek waiter. And, it wasn't a very pretty sight, but it made a very nice framed photo for her parents' wedding anniversary. So, all positive.
Now, Stephen, you were stopped in an airport recently, weren't you?
I stopped in an airport going to a wedding in Israel, and there was a woman soldier there with a massive rifle. And she said to me, "What's your name?" I said, "It's Stephen Mangan." She said, "What do you do for a living?" I don't know what this accent is, by the way, but let's pretend it's Israeli. I said, "I'm an actor." She goes, "How did you become an actor?" I went to drama school. "Which drama school?" "RADA." "How did you get in?" "Well, you have to do an audition." "What do you do?" "Well, you do a Shakespeare, you do a modern piece, and you do a song." "What song?" I said, "I did Daisy, Daisy." "Just Daisy, Daisy?" "Yes, it's only one verse." And they went, "That's what they just want to hear if you can sing." I said, "Is this for security?" She says, "No, I want to be an actress."
She was brilliant in Downton Abbey, by the way. Well, so on to round one. I've selected a special topic for each of you, and I hope you've all come armed with your questions. If no one manages to answer your question, you will, of course, score 10 points. If somebody does answer your question, they score 5 points. OK, so, Joe, I have given you pissed-up northerners, otherwise known as the Vikings.
My husband looked exactly like that one on the right last night, actually.
Horny.
So, Joe, what is your question going to be to Stephen and Tim?
My question to you is, if you were a girl, why would it be a bad thing to be pissed at a Viking funeral?
OK, right, Stephen and Tim, get your tablets out.
Right.
I'm terrible with modern technology. Predictive texting is my worst thing, because I never check what the word actually is before I send it. And I sent one to my husband recently. I was saying, "On Blackfriars Bridge, fucking Q," right? And he got a text saying, "On Blackfriars Bridge, fucking Steve." So that's a bit worrying, isn't it? Okay.
You must have felt like a right aunt. OK, so Joe asked, if you were a girl, why wouldn't it be a good idea to get pissed at a Viking funeral? Tim?
I've just put, "'Cause at Viking funerals, if you smell of drink, they kill you."
Stephen, what have you got?
I've got, you might pass out and wake up with a Viking's helmet on your face.
Every girl's dream.
So, Joe, are we anywhere close with any of these?
Not really.
No.
If a Viking chieftain died, one of the daughters in the family had to volunteer to be burnt with him. And in order to speed her journey and make her feel a little bit better about it, they got her very, very drunk And then there was a ritual that went on. First of all, they pulled the longboat up to the shore. They got 2 horses, chopped them in half, threw them in the boat. A hen chopped that in half, chucked it in the boat. So heading towards a sort of farmyard barbecue, really. And then there were lots of tents put up with loads of men in them, and this poor girl had to go around to every tent and have sex with all the men.
I've got to say, I'm not sure I could have fit all that on this screen.
And then the angel of death would strangle her and then cut her throat. She was thrown onto the boat. The body of her father would be put on the boat. The whole lot would be set on fire, and off it would go into the sunset.
Wow.
Wow, way to start a comedy show, Joe. Yeah. Right. Whoa.
I have to say, I'm quite glad my dad's not a Viking.
Oh, aren't
because
you?
I'm the only girl in my family, so... Oh, it's me, then?
Yeah. Prepare to be chopped in half with the dog.
Exactly.
Do you know if you chop a horse in half, then bang the 2 halves together, it sounds like someone riding a coconut?
So, yes, Joe's question was, if you were a girl, why was it a bad idea to get drunk at a Viking funeral? And the answer was, of course, the rather interactive send-off. So thanks very much, Joe. Nobody got your answer. 10 points.
Oh, good.
There we are. Well done.
That's
Now, Stephen, it is you next. And the topic I have chosen for you is the land of your forefathers, the old country there.
Yeah,
That's
sounding very Woganish there. That's good.
But yes, I was.
Yes, Ireland.
Yes.
And my question is this: what is a cluricaune?
What is a cluricaune? Joe and Tim, will you please write your answers? Steve, you went around Ireland quite recently, didn't you?
I go to Ireland a lot. I go to Ireland about 3 or 4 times a year.
Have you kissed the Blarney Stone?
I have, yeah.
Do you know what happens before all the tourists arrive?
They probably hose it down with antiseptic, do they?
They piss on it.
They piss on it.
Can I just tell a story about Ireland, which I think sums it up? 2 sisters who are friends of mine were hitchhiking around Ireland. They got picked up by a farmer in his van, and he pulled in to a lay-by, and he turned around to them and he went, "I don't suppose either of you girls would fancy giving me a bit of a wank now, would you?" And they said, "Well, we'd rather not." And he went, "Right you are," and then just carried on.
If you don't ask...
Exactly.
So Stephen asked, what is a cluricaune? Tim,
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I suppose is a quick way to answer that, but I put it's a special sledge that we use to transport fruit. It's not, is it?
But it's not, no, it's not a sledge. But I like that idea that you have just a sledge just for fruit. What would the sledge be going over?
Snow.
It doesn't really snow in Ireland either.
Well, they don't use it very much. That's why it's a rare word.
Tim, have you been to Ireland?
I have been to Ireland, yeah. Why? What's the mean? Like, have you been to? Have you really just been there?
I think the thing I really remember about Ireland is not so much the massive amount of fruit they have trouble transporting.
I've got to get these pineapples to Limerick.
How am I going to get over the pass?
Right,
I fucked up. I'm getting a lift with him. Joe, a cluricaune.
I've put 3 things, which is a vicar's dress, or a hat, or a boat.
It's not right, but it's...
Yes.
Yeah, that's just
But
not...
it's
It's not
wrong.
right, that's it. That's okay. A cluricaune is actually a leprechaun's naughty cousin. Oh. Leprechauns will make you money, as everyone knows. Yeah. Cluricaun's will lose you money. They basically they get drunk all day, they ride sheep across fields, and they terrorise humans at night.
Do they pull fruit on a sledge?
They should do.
We have got a picture here of the cluricaune. Here we go.
Is that Bruce Forsyth?
I bet there's fruit in that urn.
Leprechauns and cluricaunes are often mistaken. Yes, the leprechaun is a little Irish fairy who, if you manage to catch and keep hold of him, will make you lots of money. A fact Simon Cowell knows only too well. So, yes. Well, very nice try, Stephen. Very well done. That's 10 points for you.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Now, finally, for this round, Tim.
Yes.
For no particular reason, I've decided to give you the topic of losers. If you're watching a repeat, glorious winners of the World Cup in Brazil. Tim,
I'm
what is
ready.
your question?
Well, my question is this. Why did the Aztecs make such unsuccessful warriors?
Is this something else you learnt on your cruise?
I did learn this on the cruise, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was your cruise?
We're basically following Hurricane Sandy. We got within 600 miles of it. It was quite rough at one point.
You were ahead of it or behind it?
No, we were following it. So it was like that, and we were... Are you familiar with the word follow? It's kind of like... But, you know, you should never follow a hurricane. That's a well-known showbiz term, because, you know, they always storm it. Come on. Yeah.
Was it just you and your dad?
There are other people on the ship.
No.
Yeah.
Did you sit at the captain's table?
Yeah, a couple of times. He let us go up on the bridge and look out at the sea and stuff. I did say to him, I want to go to the back of the boat. He said, stern. I said, I want to go to the back of the boat. Actually, a bloke went past like that. I said, who are you? He said, I'm a skipper. Oh. Then all these bits of lamb started floating by. I thought, God, it's getting choppy. That's all of them. That's all of them.
OK, so Tim asked, why were the Aztecs such unsuccessful warriors? Joe?
Because they were off their faces on drugs and alcohol.
That's wrong.
Right.
But, I mean, they may have been, but that wasn't the reason why...
It's all right, I'm not that disappointed.
Stephen?
The Aztecs were unsuccessful warriors. I think I know this.
Oh,
because
no, really?
their battle cry was, ooh, it didn't scare anybody.
It's not that. Basically, they were into human sacrifice. And so they didn't want to kill you. They wanted to capture you and use you later. And so they were rubbish in battle because they're quite easy to kill. You imagine if they're coming towards you with a spear and you go, go on then.
If they grabbed enough people, they'd be outnumbered back at base.
They had prisons and things, didn't they? They didn't just queue them up behind them, else they'd come round.
Tim's question was, why were the Aztecs such rubbish warriors? And the answer is, as he has so wonderfully explained, that they liked to capture their enemies but didn't kill them quickly enough. So, 10 points. 10 points, look at that. 10 all. Very good indeed, yes. Well, that's it for part one. Questions. Sometimes children ask the hardest questions. They can be so sad. Oh, where did Auntie Jill go, Daddy? Where is she now? I mean, how do you explain the concept of Australia to someone so young? I'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Time for our Ask a Celeb a Question round. Your chance to pose a gnarly question without any fear of legal comeback. And I'm going to reward my favourite question setter with 5 points. Yeah. So here we go first with designer wife, Victoria Beckham.
I would ask, can you come and lie down by my front door, because there's a terrible draft.
I'd ask her, oi, Lardy, why so fat? Who ate all the pies? Victoria Beckham, Victoria Sponge?
OK, next, big-faced motorman, Jeremy Clarkson.
Well, I would say to him, does he know that the person who made that Elvis shirt has got dyslexia?
Cameron Diaz.
I would ask, can I borrow that dress and wear it the other way round?
The shirt singer squiring human advertising hoarding that is Lewis Hamilton.
I would say, did the passport office reject that one?
I'd say, would you like one of these chocolates? Yeah, it's a Ferrari Rocher.
And a spare, it's Boris and Peter Andre.
It's the Gruffalo. I would ask Boris, do you realise Peter Andre's reading a book about you?
And next, that taking frontman, Gary Barlow.
You know, Gary Barlow came up to me the other day. He said, Tim, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. He said, you any good at impressions? I said, no.
Weirdly, Gary Barlow and I are going to be sharing a character soon. I am the voice of Postman Pat in the new Postman Pat movie that's being made.
Wow.
And when Postman Pat sings, he has a beautiful voice, and Gary is going to be doing the singing.
Right, they are throwing a lot of talent at Postman Pat the movie. Good God. Who's making it?
DreamWorks.
Get the fuck out of here. I was always really troubled by Pat thinks he's a really happy man.
Oh.
Maybe that comes up in the film. Do we discover why?
I'm really sorry I brought it up now.
OK, well played, everyone. I know I've got to pick a winner. I think it's Joe. Fantastic asking. Yeah. But this is the exciting moment in the show when I reach arm deep into the recesses of the cupboard I call Xander's collection of mysterious ephemera and reveal an object that will cause shock and awe. Look at this. Ooh. Look at that.
It's a Damien Hirst.
Do you have any idea what this might be? It's not a turd in a jar. I keep those at the back of the larder.
It looks like a fish.
You'd be absolutely right there. This is a dead anglerfish. I promise you it doesn't look any better when it's alive. No, this, weirdly enough, is a female anglerfish, and that tiny little sort of wobbly appendage is her husband.
When you say that's her husband, I mean,
yeah.
Is he not able to let go or something? I mean, he died at the same time, or...?
No, the male anglerfish is just this tiny little worm whose only purpose in life is to attach himself to a female and then wither into a useless attachment who's only good for fertilising her eggs.
My husband did that very early enough.
Yeah. Yeah, well, in honour of this evolutionary shortcut, I'm going to give you the subject of men, from which I would like you to elicit your questions. I'm going to pick my favourite question for the rest of you to answer. The role of men in the world has evolved, but society has found it difficult coming to terms with the changing face of masculinity. Those photos of Shane Warne really are very, very hard to look at. So, Joe, men.
OK. Ancient Greek prophet Tiresias was blinded by an angry wife after he sided with her husband in an argument. Do you know what the argument was about?
OK. Stephen, what was your question going to be?
My question's very short. Why was Adam delighted to meet Eve?
That one sounds easier.
Yes.
OK, Tim, what's your question on the subject of men?
Why is it better for a man to have a headache than a woman?
God, these are good.
These are good.
I've got to pick my favourite one. I think ancient Greeks' marital spat. That sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Come on. I think we'll go with yours, but that means let's find out what yours was, Tim.
Why is it better for a man to have a headache than a woman?
Yeah.
It's because paracetamol works better on men than women. It's more effective. And, well, I haven't done the science. I mean, they make a right fuss about that childbirth thing, don't they?
Terrible.
I did a play this summer, and in the play, I played a pregnant man who gave birth. It's not that hard. Not that hard.
So, Stephen, why was Adam delighted when Eve came along?
Well, according to Jewish folklore, he was delighted because his first wife...
Hang on.
Lilith.
Yes, Lilith. He had a first wife called Lilith, who was a bit of a ball breaker. And she left Adam and ran off to a land full of demons where she copulated furiously and gave birth to 100 babies a day. She sounds like a bit of a goer, doesn't she? Yeah. The thing about Lilith was she was made from the same soil that Adam was, whereas Eve was made from his rib.
And she used to steal sperm as well. That's what I've heard
did,
about
yeah.
her. When I was a student nurse, we actually had someone who was a sperm phobic, and there's various ways of treating a phobia, and one of them's called flooding, right, where you just expose the person to their fear in the most huge way that you can. So basically, she had to sit in it.
Is it not a small risk of insemination?
There's no risk of insemination.
Okay. It shows how little I know.
Yeah.
So Joe's question is, ancient Greek Tiresias was blinded by a wife because he sided with her husband in a marital spat. What had Tiresias said?
OK.
Tiresias had been both man and woman, I think, hadn't he?
He had, because he was turned into a woman by someone who was a bit cross with him. Apparently, he was caught hitting 2 copulating snakes with a stick. I thought it's a bit like down my road, except they're not snakes, they're teenagers.
So what's the biggest myth you've ever heard about yourself, Joe?
That I'm thin. Well, for a very long time, the tabloids spread it around that I was a lesbian, which was quite entertaining. In the end, I had to go on stage and say, I'm not a lesbian, I'm heterosexual, because over the years I got a lot of petitions from lesbian groups saying, please tell everyone you're heterosexual because you're giving us a bad name.
Yeah. But I've never been the subject of any myths. One or two legends, of course, but... Well, Joe, you asked... The ancient Greek Tiresias was blinded by a wife for siding with her husband in a marital spat. What had he said? So, Tim.
The reason I know this is wrong is because I've already used the sledge thing once. No, that's not what I've written. He said that she must accept her husband is allowed to have other wives.
I think that's quite a good guess, but it's not right.
It's not even... No.
No.
Stephen.
I've sort of gone into this groove about childbirth and pain and who feels pain the most, and did he say that childbirth only smarted a little?
Well, it's not right, but you're not that far away because it is about sort of experiencing feelings about something. The couple actually was Zeus and Hera.
You don't want to pick a fight with them.
No, exactly. That's why they had so much power to go, you're blind, you're a woman, you're a packet of crisps, whatever. The argument was that Tiresias agreed with Zeus that women enjoyed sex more than men did.
Enjoying it in what way?
Enjoying it in the sense that their orgasms were much better than the men's.
It doesn't sound like the sort of thing that anyone's reaction would be to blind someone about that.
Apparently, she had said women's orgasms were 9 times better. Why just round it up to 10?
Did you think that blinding her might take the edge off that? The 9, these are enjoyable.
I tell you what, if I had an orgasm that was 9 times as pleasurable as the average man, I think I'd probably be blind.
Actually, I said to my husband recently, God, I can't remember the last time we had sex, and he went, we're having it now.
Now, it's such a difficult subject, this, but I know who can throw even more light on it. He's the agony aunt for the Daily Telegraph and a very good friend of mine. He's on my speed dial, so let's give him a little call. It's only Graham Norton.
Hi, it's Graham Norton here. Of course I'm busy, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do so after the beep. If your question is regarding the perennial problem of what's better, a male or female orgasm, do you really need to ask?
Apparently penguins can't have orgasms.
No wonder they waddle everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's no point in picking up a penguin.
I really want to bring off a penguin now and bring some joy.
I think this would make a great Attenborough series.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Bringing off a penguin.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, if only Justin Lee Collins was still in work. There we are. Brilliant question, Joe. 10 points. Thank you so much.
Steaming away with it.
I think that's enough about orgasms. I don't think I'll be able to do that round again for a while. So let's move on. It's our final quick-fire round, and I'll be presenting you with category after category. It's your task to come up with suitable questions that will get the better of your fellow players. We start with the works of Shakespeare. Tim Vine.
Right, in 1787...
Yes.
At Richmond Theatre, they did a production of Hamlet. And the actor, it was a guy called Cubitt. And he was so struck by stage fright. What did he do to overcome his stage fright?
Did he get blind drunk?
No, he didn't.
Did he chop off his finger so he had something else to worry about?
No, he didn't.
No.
What happened was he didn't go on. They did Hamlet without Hamlet in it.
Wow.
They said it wasn't called Hamlet, it was called...
Did they really?
They really did, yeah. What? And apparently it was shorter.
It must have been a lot shorter.
Now, Stephen.
Yes, I have a question about Shakespeare. How many
Yes.
sisters called Joan did Shakespeare have?
5.
No, he had 2. His eldest sister was called Joan, but she only lived to be 2 months old. Oh. And then 11 years later, another Joan was born, and she lived to be 77, which in those days is the equivalent of 206 now, I suppose.
On the subject of offspring, do you know Horatio Nelson had 4 children? Only one of them was called Horatio, which is a ratio of 1 to 4.
OK, next. Nuns.
Why was Sister Act such a big hit?
Tim.
Well, I was watching Match of the Day the other day, and Alan Hansen said, he said, Wayne Rooney is second to none. So why don't they start playing this nun if she's that good?
Accidents. Yes, Tim.
What accident occurred after, well, sometime after Frank Whittle had invented the jet engine?
Did someone get sucked into it?
Nearly. He invented a hairdryer and blew his wife's head off.
Yes, Joe.
If you hit a badger in your car and it's not dead, what's the best way to kill it? No, I'm only asking this because when I was a kid, my dad was driving and we hit a badger. We all got out the car and my dad went, right, I'll finish it off. And he got this spade out the car and hit this poor badger on the head and it didn't kill it, right? And so this poor badger's thinking, bloody hell, I've just been hit by a car. Now some bastard's hit me on the head with a spade. And then this farmer who'd parked his van in the lay-by...
Have you seen my pet badger?
just appeared out of nowhere and he went, I'll just have another go. He hit it again and it's a lovely room.
OK, next. The NHS. Steve.
The NHS is the 5th largest employer in the world. Any idea what the 4
Other ones
ones above it are?
The army.
Which army would that be?
Chinese army.
Chinese army coming number 2.
Right, OK. The American army.
That can number 1.
The Russian army.
No, no more armies.
No more armies.
Is it Tesco's?
No. The burger army of McDonald's coming number 4. And at number 3, it's Walmart. Nearly 1.8 million people employed by Walmart.
Wow.
Thank you.
Do you know why pixies can't give blood? They've got too much hemoglobin.
Oh, there we are! There we go. That is the end of the round. Well, there were some terrific questions in there, but for the brilliant, brilliant ability with both questioning and answering, I am going to award that round, I think, to Tim Vine.
Oh!
Really? Oh. Very good. Tim. There you are. Well done to all of you. Sadly, that's the end of the show. As usual, I've chosen one of the trophies from my top shelf for tonight's winner. And this is it, my bronze medallion for my junior jazz routine at the Morpeth School of Modern Dance. I told Dad we should have dropped the finger clicks. Would he listen? So, for her outstanding questions on tonight's show, I'm going to award it to Jo Brand. There we are. Fabulous. There we are. Hold your hand there for an embarrassing length of time. There we are. Fabulous. Thank you. So that only leaves me to thank my guests, Joe, Stephen and Tim, which I'll probably do in a thank you letter in a couple of months' time. I just want to leave you with this curious fact. Camel is one of the meats deemed unclean by the Bible. The others are rabbits, pigs and any burger from Glastonbury.